Welcome back, punters, to Rapid Fire, our preview show on the Thursday. We've got Jason as a party who's going to be covering two races from Moonee Valley on Friday night, and John Walter from racingwatch.com.au. Morning, lads, or I should say afternoon.
Hey guys, how are you?
What day is it?
Thursday, and looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, good.
Likewise, huge meeting, some great racing. Bring it on.
Okay, let's talk about Moonee Valley. We've got Rail True there, Jason. What do you think the track's going to do?
Look, you can generally swoop on a rail true. Last week the rail was back to the true, and it was a little bit leaderish. So it could be that way. Really got to assess. Thinking that the smaller fields and it'll be very hard to make ground when they're sort of stacking them up. But hopefully in the Group 1 with the speed on, it'll give everyone a chance.
So we'll go to the Sunline Stakes first of all. We've got a fairly short price favourite in both the races that we're going to talk about.
Here we go. Market from. So we're starting with Sunline Stakes. $1.60 Flying Mascot, $4 Barb Raider, $8 Quantum Mechanic, $14 Shout the Bar, $20 Bond Vicini. Groovy Kind of Love, $21.61, Bound to Win.
Take it away, Jason.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm not going to tip against the fave here. She's going well. I think she would have been right in the All-Star Mile last week if she had got a run. She's won at the Track and Trip. She gets a perfect run from 3. I think a key rival here, Barb Raider's drawn just outside her. So they're both relative go-forward horses. So Barb Raider's going to have to work a little bit to get outside it. And I'm assuming that Flying Mascot will just get the tag on it and prevail at the end. $1.60 short when, there's some decent horses in this. Shout the Bar's going like a busted, but it is a Group 1 winner. All through there. They're only absolute cats. Bonvicini's are not a good miler. Quantum Mechanic's absolutely flying. It was a huge run first up. Back in the spring, she gave on Thunderstruck weight and ran 2 lengths behind it in the Toorak. So she's certainly not out of it, but from 7, she's going to have to go back, and I just don't think she'll be able to make up the ground with the way I'm expecting the track to play and the ability of the front two. So, but do keep an eye on Quantum Mechanic. If she comes up to Sydney, she could get in with a lightweight in a big race and run well. Flying Mascot on top. As I said, Quantum Mechanic, I've got a big watch on, and Barb Raider. I think the market's right.
Look, I think the market's right in terms of the favourite. It's dominant and just wins for mine. Probably even an argument to suggest that it might even start shorter than $1.60. But that's just my opinion. Barb Raider, I think, is probably under the odds at the moment, but has obviously been flying and going very well. And Quantum Mechanic, I'd have to be a bit against at the price currently on offer. So for me, it's just all about the favourite. Favourite wins. Let's talk about the William Reid, race 7, short price favourite, and the massive spread in the market here between favourite and second pick.
Very strange. So we're 160 to 175. Marabi, the astrologist, $14 second pick. Pasa, 15 the Inferno, 18 Generation, 18 September Run, 20 the Jonker now. 21 Trekking, 26 General Bow, 26 Marine. One incredible, the tightness between the rest of them. 26 Standout, 34 Snapper, 41 Zuzarella, 67 Hal Vorsen, $91 the Mighty Electric Girl.
We're going to go lickety split here. There's a lot of pace both inside to out, so it'd be interesting to see how the map ends up panning out, Jason.
Yeah, look, there's a hell of a lot of pace. There will be a lot of pressure here. Look, Marabi's unbeaten, been tested, been super convincing, won at the Valley. I'm not going to knock her, but I'm not going to back her at $1.70. The horse I want to back here off a pretty good speed is the Inferno at the $15 and $3.50. I'll be having an each way bet on him. Look, he's a super Singaporean horse, and if you look at his profile last prep, he really jumped out of the ground second up. His rating points, the ratings to win rating went from 88.9 to 99.4 second up. And that was a Group 2 at the Valley, which he won. And then he went to the Moya, which was a Group 1, and got beat a lip by Wild Ruler. So those 2 runs in group races at the Valley over a trip, I think, is just short of his best. I think he's a true 1,200 metre horse. First up, he ran in the Lightning. Just everything went wrong there. But that's clearly the key sprinting form in Victoria, but if not Australia. Obviously, Home Affairs and Nature Strip were there. The Astrologist has come out of that race and run close in the Newmarket. So I think and Eduardo obviously won and beat the new superstar of the turf, Shelby 66. So we've got well, I think that's a decent run there, even though it's eighth of 9. I'm okay with that run as a lead into this. Barrier 7's perfect. Zara's riding really well. I just think at the $15 is a bit of value. The only other one I'm going to spec, just small, is Generation. I think, again, this is a target race by the Mar stable. Colt, chance to get the Group 1 here. This will be full kitchen sink job. Jamie riding, she's absolutely on fire at the moment. She is just dominant the way she rode on Wednesday. So he's the other one I could have something on, but Marabi could blow them away, just not in that price range for me. I'm going to spec those other 2.
Fair enough. I think the favourite's about the right price. Don't want to back it though because of the map. I think there's a couple of uncertainties there, and good luck for the people that do, and it should win. But yeah, as you say, it's things can happen in these types of races, and certainly with that map and that price profile, it's not one for me.
Interesting horse in that race is the Zuzarella. They've obviously bailed on the traditional fillies pass, stretching it out and put it back in distance with blinkers. It's a really strange sort of setup, but should be interesting to watch.
I figure they just wanted to get off the big wet somehow, maybe out in Sydney, and that there wouldn't be that many options. Maybe try and get a placing here. Group 1 placing would help us broodmare profile potentially. Agreed. It's strange.
Too easy.
Okay, well, let's roll to Rosehill. We've got a 5 metre rail, John, which is pretty unusual. I think we've had one meeting which was in the winter at the 5 metres and the inside was no good. More like a 6 metre rail. I suppose we can be reasonably confident that it's going to play on pace. It's just a question, I suppose, now in terms of the ground, how far off the inside we're going to see the best ground. So, but I think on pace, Rosehill, and we've got a bit of rain leading into the meeting, and hopefully we don't get any on the day to make things worse, but probably end up with a slow track, I think.
Yeah, it's weird. There sort of seems to be so much rain that it's the track's still playing the way it plays traditionally, just a little bit more testing than normal. So it was probably the inside played a little bit better than expected last week, and they'll get off a few, and it'll be rails in run won't be too bad as long as you get that couple off, and should be pretty much normal Rosehill as long as we don't get any more crazy weather.
Okay, so let's roll into the Italics Stakes, which is our first race 4 to 2,000 metres. What have we got in terms of the market?
The Mighty Sword, 480, character $6. Maurice is my dad, which I believe is it going around today at Albury. Is $8 and it's most likely to come out. Paternal $8, $11 Money from the Sky, $12 Regal Line, 12 White Noise, 15 Zoom On, 16 Shelby 66 Mark II, Jamari, Satirical Glory 16, Benno 17, 31 Tabastorm, 34 Clyde 81, Nakia Naika, Brave Boy 151. What are
your thoughts here, John?
I found this very difficult to line a lot of these horses up, and I sort of wanted to get away from the top of the market because I thought a lot of these horses are coming out at pretty restricted grade and sort of going up. Sword Point isn't, but I sort of gravitated back towards Zoom On, who was in that fast run open class race last start, and thought it got much better control here and looked the value in what was a very open race. There's a lot of horses that are certainly on the up, like Paternal, Money from the Sky. Character, not so much for me. And I thought Sword Point was, even though it's probably dropping in grade, anything is pretty exposed. I sort of went looking for horses that are racing open grade at odds in Zoom On.
Fair enough. Look, I thought that Sword Point represented the best chance in the race here, and Character is probably the second pick for mine. I just think I got that win in the back of my mind there of Sword Point when it did step up to the 2,000. Was it 2 starts ago at Rosehill when it sort of won convincingly? J Mac goes back on. I'm not saying it's a good thing or by any means, but I think around about the 9-2 or something, 4-1.
Yeah, I think it'll get that. If it's not, I think it's 480 at the moment. But if anything, it'll get out a little bit, won't it?
Yeah, possibly. I think that's probably fair. Character, I think, is the other main genuine chance, assuming that Morris's Madad won't be present. We never know, but let's assume not. But they're the two for me, but not a great deal of confidence.
Tricky race.
Yeah, big watch here on the Kiwi Bart Cummings. Murray bringing 2 over. This White Noise has got some nice ability to run some decent races. I don't think it stayed the trip last start. Worked too hard early for the first sort of 400-500 metres to get to the front, and they sort of took it on. Its form before that's pretty good, and it goes from Ryan Elliott, a New Zealand apprentice, to Jamie Carr. He's done it plenty of times, winning these races off New Zealand derbies. So I'd just say, watch it. Don't let it go around as a loser.
Especially soft tracks. Then he seems to. I'm not saying all these horses handle soft, but they seem adept to the wet compared to ours a lot of the time.
Well, I had a look at the dam side, and I don't think it's going to have a problem. So he's got interesting. He's brought 2, Nash and Jamie on, but I thought the 2 over 2,000 was a better chance.
Okay, so let's move on to the Emancipation Race 5 for the mares. What have we got here in terms of the market, John?
Let me find it.
I fell over when I saw this market.
Yeah, it seems interesting. Anavisto 320, Kiss on all 4 cheeks, 440, 650 Promising Success, 850 Nimmerlee, $10 Expat, 14 Hungry Heart, 15 Mirror Vision, 18 Crone, 20 Kiku, 26 Evangelic, and $71 more profits.
How do you see it, John?
Mate, you can go first with this one. I don't have a good handle on this one at all.
Look, I'm probably in the camp of main chance here is Anavisto, which is the favourite. I think it just gets a nice run. It's going extremely well. It has the figures to be dominant here, and it's clearly the top pick for me. The Perth visitor, Kiss on All for Cheeks, has obviously gone to Melbourne and won down there in Flemington. It obviously is another genuine chance based on the figures that it's producing. I wouldn't be surprised if the race came down to those two. I'm probably against Promise to Success a little bit. Look, I know that it was a decent run last time, and it was sort of they grabbed hold and it over-raced, and some people might suggest that it wasn't a great ride, and I can understand that. But I just think that it's a bit well found at current prices for mine. And I suppose the second tier for me would be a horse like Nimmerlee, which is just racing really well and going well. And I think, double figures it might represent some sort of value as well. So for me, Anavisto to beat Kiss on All for Cheeks and Nimmerlee.
Interesting how quick they looks like they could go quite fast. For whatever reason, they think looks like the expats are pretty much lead at all costs horse, and Evangelic's going to obviously come across, and then Anavisto, where does it get to? Second up, 1,500 on a wet track. Sort of a few queries there that sort of scared me, and there's nothing really in the Sydney horses that are flying, so it's certainly the opportunity there for the two coming up from Ascot via Melbourne and Anavisto to stake their claim. I couldn't really look at this race with any confidence, and I think Jason's chomping at the bit. So
look, when I looked at this race, I thought Anavisto was going to come up $6 or $7. I was going to unload on it, and I looked and it was $3, so I was a little bit disappointed. She actually prefers a strong speed. She can really pull and off a sit sprint, even though she's a front runner. So that's what it suited her last start. And Jamie's, if she has to sit OSL on this horse, it's not a bad thing. So I think she's perfectly suited here. I actually just thought Kiss on All Four Cheeks, written Tycoon, 1,500 wet, whether it might be a bit of a doubt at the trip, but it ran through the line strong last start, so I might be overthinking it. I thought Promise of Success is overs. Paul says it's unders. I think Rachel Karen on for Rachel's a big tick for it. I thought it was enormous last start, but then I couldn't understand the difference between it and Mirror Vision in price. So, maybe Mirror Vision is unders or Promise Success is unders or Mirror Vision's overs. But I'll be backing Ana Vista on promise of success in this, and I thought Nimalee would be the one who could potentially knock me off.
I'll cheer for you two, boys.
Fair enough. Let's move on to race 7, which is the Tancred. I think that's our next one on the list.
Let's have a
Yes,
look.
it is.
There we go. Add to stream. Tancred Stakes, Duay, $2.80, $4 Spanish Mission. Think it over $4.60. She's Ideal, $10, $14 Stockman, $19 Angel of Truth, The Chosen One, $21, Shiraz, $31, Great House, $34 Mighty Beale, and $201. Paul's nearly favourite horse, Avion Fury.
Nearly favourite. It was on at last start. Anyway, look, for me, it's just a favourite, and that's it. It just wins, and I think, what is it? What price did you say, John?
280 at the moment, 260 to 280.
Yeah, around that 7 to 4, 2 to 1 mark. It's not a bad price. I think that Think It Over at 2,400 metres is a query for mine. Spanish Mission is obviously racing well, and it might well improve up to the 2,400. So that's probably possibly the second pick for me, but I think it's under the odds. So, but for me, it's just a favourite. So favourite wins.
Pretty much agree with you, to be fair. I think it's the one with all the upside, and I don't know, it's probably a little bit tricky, Matt, but it should be fine. Probably slots in midfield-ish, and Spanish Mission, it obviously went a little bit too quick last start, but it's hard to see how. It would have to be a really good ride from James. I can totally control the race and take off at the right time or whatever to nullify Duay's sprint or something. I'm not sure, but I agree with you. It's probably going to take bad luck or something strange to happen to beat the favourite, and Spanish Mission, exactly the same thought. Probably short enough, and Think It Over way too short.
I'll put my credibility in the line here and say you can lay Spanish Mission till your eyes bleed. It's got none on a wet track. Absolutely none. Will not handle it. I'm actually surprised they're running it.
It was definitely under the odds. I mean,
and it's the best supported runner early. This is just going off Top Sport, which is quite weird. I agree.
What is it? The place on Top Sport?
Place 160.
All right, I'll put $5,000 up at evens on Betfair if anyone wants it. The place.
I like it.
That's a good bet. That's a good bet. Righto. So we're going to go now to the Vinery, which is the last race we're going to cover this week.
Probably the most exciting race of the day, I thought. 380 Hinge, 440 Gypsy Goddess down from Brisbane, 650 Fangirl, $8 Pretty Amazing, Never Been Kissed 9, 14 Yearning, which is the horse that I think had the internal bleed we're talking about, $18 Pink Ivory, 26 Hope in Your Heart, 26 Mokalula, Stray at $31. I thought it was an interesting horse. 34 Honey Creeper, Gin Martini 51, 100 plus the rest.
So we've got Gypsy Goddess coming down from Queensland, who was very dominant winning there at Eagle Farm first up. But a horse that I believe for some time would head towards that Oaks Path and be competitive. Is it under the odds, John? I mean, it's equal favourite.
Well, Jason and I were talking about this before, and how do you line it up? You've got to say it's under, considering the amount of promising horses here and the form differential. Surely it has to be under the odds. It's got to tackle a wide draw, wet tracks, travel, a lot of things. I can't imagine it starting that short.
Jason, have you got any idea on this race?
Yeah, Look, I think it's extremely tough. I've spec'd the 12 in the Oaks, Pink Ivory, at quite a big price. I'm not sure. This has come up a lot stronger than I thought, so I'll be hoping for a good run into it. But I loved our one at Newcastle Open Class. Ran through the line. It's a Redwood out of Lateria. It'll get the Oaks trip. Jay Sargent. So that'll be the one I'm watching in the race from an Oaks perspective. But yeah, I thought it was strong. I did think the favours unders, but I don't have a strong opinion on the race.
Gets the right run, the favourite. That's the worst part, isn't it? It sort of stops you being too far against it, because the others are all sort of drawn tricky gates and you know where it's going to be hinged. But certainly a wider race than those couple, I would have thought. But Paul may have different insight.
Look, I'm still going to go with Hinged on top as my number one pick here. The 2,000 metres is the only slight query in my mind. I think it'll get it, but it is a slight query. And if it's a really testing track on the day, then it's obviously going to be harder for it. But I would have to put it on top over the Queensland filly. A horse like Never Been Kissed, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that it's going to win, but it could give him a bit of a race here, John.
Yeah, I'm not totally convinced on it. I know he sort of gave up the lead, and I just would have liked him to finish on the hammer of that the horse last start, or at least chase and do a little bit more. I know it was on the back up and probably can improve, gets a bit of control here, but I think I'm liking your line of thought, as in Hinged is probably the one. It's probably going to look the winner. Whether it can run 2,000 out strong, and there looks like there's some fillies here like Fangirl, pretty amazing. Pink Ivory, even Hope in Your Heart, I don't mind Stray at big odds. Think it's an improver off a complete forgive last start down in Melbourne. That should be well and truly sort of eating up 2,000. So it's a really good contest, and I got to risk Gypsy Goddess, and I think Hinged will be in front with 100 to go, and there'll be a few chasing it.
Yes, I'm backing Hinged, and look, if Gypsy Goddess got out to a good price, then I could consider saving on it. And I think that I'll definitely be saving on Never Been Kissed.
Sounds good.
Jason, all done?
All done.
Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for listening this week. Hope we can provide you with some more gold. We seem to be continuing to produce some winners, so hopefully that'll continue. And all the best for the weekend, punters, and we'll see you on Monday for the review with John and myself.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, cheers.
See you guys. Cheers, guys.
Outro.